Green. He directed like Frozen, that was one of the most celebrated horror movies in the recent past. So, who are you with right now?
My wife, Rylea, who was also in Frozen.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, she had red hair in that movie.
Yeah, maybe that's why I know.
Yeah.
So is she a fan of the horror genre too? Are you a fan of the horror genre? Or you actually like other movies?
I am actually. I've basically seen all the old classic horror movies. Halloween's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Trick or Treat. We watch a lot of horror movies in our house.
Little known fact though, my movies Hatchet 1 and 2, Riley actually plays the young version of Victor Crowley.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are surprised to find out that it was actually a attractive woman under that makeup playing the deformed boy. So she's also sort of a unknown horror icon in a little way.
Yeah, you just need to make like 4 more of these movies, the Hatchet movies, and then like that would be like a thing.
Yes. Well, part 3 is coming out next year at this time.
Oh really? So I understand that you're most into like this kind of like I mean there are these different subgenres in horror.
Yes.
You're not so much into like monsters than in like most like
well, I've done all of it. The Hatchet movies are monster slasher movies.
Yeah.
Frozen was a suspense thriller. Spiral was a psychodrama. Grace was just the most disturbing thing ever.
The only thing we don't really do is torture porn. We're not big fans.
Torture porn is the only one I'm not into.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to punish an audience, or it should be entertaining. You should walk out of it going, man, that was cool. But to just strap somebody into a chair or rape a woman for an hour and a half, I mean, you can just turn on the news for that. Yeah. So, and right now I'm working on the first ever horror sitcom called Hatchet. Yeah, so that'll be out in March on PeerNet.
So have you been paying attention to this like kind of new wave of like horror comedies? I know there's a new one, Tucker versus
Oh my god, that's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil played at Sundance the same year as Frozen. It's a travesty that it has taken this long to come out, but horror comedy is tough. I mean, my Hatchet movies are horror comedy movies. Slither was a horror comedy. A lot of times they're difficult to market and people don't get it. So, but Tucker and Dale versus Evil is amazing, and I hope everybody rushes out to see it when they can.
So basically you're interested in all kinds of horror, but not being like overly explicit and just
Well, I'm overly explicit. I mean, the Hatchet 2 was the first ever movie to come out unrated and then get banned from cinemas in its opening day. So I love explicit gore and violence, but I don't like mean-spirited things. I don't like anything that's that serious. Like the Hatchet movies are gorier than anything else that's out there, but it's funny.
So you think the sense of course, the sense of humor makes things more like, how do you say, eatable, digestible? I don't know how to say it.
Digestible, yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier to stomach.
It should be fun. Like this genre should be about fun. It's about the roller coaster ride, and if you make it too serious or too realistic, it kind of just takes you out of it. And like he said, you can watch that stuff on the news. You don't need that in a movie.
So this approach to like horror in terms of comedy is kind of recent. I mean,
No.
Mel Brooks. Okay, Mel Brooks did
Brooks.
Costello, but it was mostly like clownish, more like.
But even if you look at like an American Werewolf in London, the reason why that movie works so well is because it was funny. And it's, you know, there's a thing with horror movies where people expect a certain thing, like a slasher movie, for instance. They know exactly the type of character types they're going to get. At some point, they're all going to start getting killed by somebody. But if you can ingest some comedy, you can actually win the audience over faster, because if a character makes you laugh, you're much more inclined to actually be vested in them and care about them. So to me, it's surprising, especially in slasher movies, that people try to take them so seriously. I mean, like, for instance, the Hatchet movies that I make, it's a deformed swamp monster ghost with a gas-powered belt sander. If you try to play that seriously, you're an idiot. Like, it's ridiculous. So have fun with it and have some fun characters and make the audience laugh, make them cheer, and that's what really, it's like a concert.
So
you get to see it in a theater.
Will you say that your favorite movies from the past are like American Werewolf in London, maybe Evil Dead? The second one was
love Evil Dead.
Second one was to come in, not the first one. The first one was kind of serious,
The first one still has its merit.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2, American Werewolf in London, Slither, Trick or Treat. I mean, there's so many that we love that are just like fun movies. And to me actually, the Holy Grail is John Carpenter's Halloween, which is not funny at all.
That's pretty serious.
It is an amazing slasher movie because really no gore in it, no like real special effects or anything, and it's still to this day the scariest one and the best one. And I've probably seen it 7 billion times. The only movie I've seen more than that is E.T. But it's hard to watch E.T. because I cry through the whole thing.
Oh, really? No.
E.T. is my favorite movie of all
Can you
time.
tell me a little bit about your new horror sitcom?
Yeah, the show is called Holliston, and it's about two guys trying to make it in horror. They're trying to be horror movie directors and struggling. And it's kind of like Friends if Phoebe's head exploded all over the wall at some point. There's a monster that lives in the closet. There's lots of little gory moments, but it's funny. And I've never seen a sitcom like that, so we'll see what happens with it. But why, this crowd here that's into this type of stuff, why should we have to watch the major network sitcoms and accept that, where they're all exactly the same? Why can't we have one that's for us? Why can't we have one with some rock and roll and some gore and some monsters? So we'll see what happens. It's exciting.
When is it coming? I mean, are you releasing it in regular TV?
Yeah, we're in production right now, and it'll be on the FearNet television network starting in March. It's their first ever original program. So we shot the first 6 episodes, and they will start airing in